Greetings, William C. Rogers back at you with another video. Really, it's a message. And the message is a phrase that you probably heard before. We're going to just discuss it real briefly. And that is, misery loves company. Misery loves company. What do I mean by misery? Because there's different types of forms of misery. You know, a lot of people do what's called trauma bonding, like to share their negative experiences and all the messed up things they've been through, and they're looking for somebody else to chime in with their negative experience. And then everybody's like they're in a competition. Well, who had it the worst? Who had it the bad? Oh, no, shoot, that ain't nothing. See, me, man, I remember one time when I went through, man, I didn't know how I was going to get out of that, man. Shit, man. You know, trauma bonding. Because misery loves company. But what kind of energy is that really forming? If you think about how energy combines and seeks its own likeness, like, in case you didn't know. Likes attracted to like. Okay? I know you heard opposites attract, but that shit only work in metals, y'all. Let's get real. Okay? So when these energies combine and they create a confluence of energy, it makes a bigger magnetic wave, a bigger frequency output, right? Because there's more of its likeness added to it. So now it's bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's only going to attract more of it. What's the output going to be produced from that? Nothing but a like output, which is more negative. Is that what you want in your life? Then why are you hanging around that? One of the biggest forms of this comes into if you're hanging around people who do a whole lot of what I call talking down on others, talking down on you, talking down on everything. And they might come across as intelligent because they've read so many books and watched so many videos and memorized it all, only so they can come back and talk down. The talk downers. Why are you hanging around that? Ask yourself that. What's that going to produce in your life? Birds of a feather flock together. Is that the type of birds you want to fly with? That's just something to think about. Misery loves company. They're looking for that same thing, to agree with them, to be a part of what they're part of. And if you ain't, well, you're just going to be the next one to get talked down on. So why don't you leave away from that energy now? Why? You scared they're going to talk down on you? Guess what? They're doing that right now as we speak anyway. Because misery loves company. And a lot of times, they may not even know the misery they're in. But I'm telling you, negative energy is going to always lead to misery. And negative gossip against other humans, against other things, is negative. And it's only going to lead to a negative product. And if you're around it, then you're caught into that vortex. So the only thing that'll be pulled into you is more negative, and more misery. Because misery loves company. So get from around that. Because you're never going to make the type of commissions like the ones I've showed in my past short, or like the ones I may show right here. You're never going to collect that if you're hanging around negative talk downing. Why would you? Why would you do that to yourself? Huh? Don't think you can attract any other crowd? And let's say if you can, which is impossible, by the way, but let's just say if you can. So what? So what? You can't deal with being with you? Well, that means you probably got some inner work to do there as well. Find out more about who you are. And not really just who you are, but what you are. Because that's going to determine where you can go. When you start aligning with what you really are, then you can go into the proper direction that you need to go accordingly. It's just how it works. You can believe it or you can let it alone. You know, I've proven time and time again that when you get away from negative atmospheres, things start changing in your life. I'm experiencing these positive changes right now as we speak. You can see behind me, I'm in a great atmosphere right now. Very peaceful. And it's loving. And where I go, I'm attracting positive opportunities, positive people. But you can't attract that if you're constantly hanging around negative talk downers. Get away from that. Immediately cut them loose. Cut them loose. Cut them loose. And you ain't got to explain nothing. Who do you got to explain anything to except yourself as to why you still permitted yourself willingly and consciously to be in the midst of negative talk downing and negative energy? All right? A good place you can go to learn more about these different energy type lessons. There was a community known as the Boss Suite. And you can go to moderndayincome.com and hit that button that says Get the Boss. And go and become a student. Because it's not only going to teach you about how to handle certain energies in life, but it's also going to teach you over 22 plus income generation streams. Physical money energy. It's going to teach you the exact skills and give you the steps on how to use those skills. And just like many of our other members, you'll be earning some income that has nothing to do with the job you may currently or may not have. And in fact, this could replace that job that you may have. I mean, there's 22 right now, and it's ever growing. That's why I say plus, because there's always more income streams being added. And they are taught by people who are actually doing these income streams, who are actually implementing and applying and achieving results. Once again, that's moderndayincome.com. Hit that Get the Boss button. You're going to want to hit it. And you're going to want to invest in yourself. There was a tuition price. Pay that one-time price. There's no recurring fees, and you'll get immediate access to the private community. And not only will you have all the modules that contain the step-by-step, over-the-shoulder lessons, but you'll also get weekly live mentoring. Every week, there's multiple live calls and webinars that are right in the moment, telling you exactly what to do, answering your exact question right on the spot about these income streams, and a lot of times about energy and life itself. We go over the most inside the Boss Suite. It's called the Boss Suite. What do you think about the word suite? You know, a hotel suite, that's the best room they got, right? And when you go into a hotel suite, you immediately like just, whoa, you're just wild behind how lavish everything looks in the room, how immaculate everything is. It's the suite. This is the Boss Suite. It's a suite of trainings, learnings, lessons, and live mentorship to enable you to be the boss in your life. Not that other so-called boss that you're clocking into. No, you're the boss. But you got to get the training. You got to update your skill sets for the modern day times. That's why I called the site moderndayincome.com. You'll see a review there also that'll take you on the inside, show you what the modules look like, show you some of the testimonials. It's all there. Go there now, invest in yourself, and I'll see you on the inside. William C. Rogers is my name, and I thank you for taking the time to watch this video. by all means, hit the like button, hit the subscribe. Let's let YouTube know to push this out to more and more people who are looking to be their own boss and get away from the talk downers. Stay up. Peace and light. Everything's going to be all right.